How's it hanging, guys? Welcome back to the Tiny Park Challenge. My name's Tyler. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, dude, I just love the colors of this ride so much. We gotta give it a name. Oh my gosh, that's like the main thing we gotta do. Is I went through all the comments from the last couple of videos and I compiled a ton of name ideas for all the rides. Although, for this first ride, I'm gonna use my own name idea just because I'm seeing these like cars like whip around the edges of this ride. So I'm thinking I'm gonna name it something along the lines of Skirt. Let's freaking go! Skirt, skirt, skirt! Alright, that's the first ride that has been named. But there's a ton of rides, mostly above land, that need to be named up here. Oh, before we name the rides real fast, let me show you what I did in between episodes, because I did a couple hours of work in between episodes. We gotta go all the way back down to the underground, and we gotta turn the flashlight on. Oh, this is weird. We just see a bunch of floating acacia trees. Or is it it's acacia, isn't it? Acacia. Yep. Already something for the comments to make fun of me for. Perfect. Adding more fuel to the fire. Okay, so we need to have the flashlight on because we have to do some lighting today. But I did a lot of just like general building around the rides we built last episode. Mostly just like kind of building some structure and doing some terraforming and just like kind of pulling it together. Kind of setting it up so we could just focus on like cool scenery in this episode. But I just kind of added like lots of rocks and tried to like make it all look as natural as possible. But I think these rides are actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Whip around to the other side of this building. We're not moving very fast. Can we go ahead and open this ride? I think so. The Gold Fever. We'll have a new name for that as well. But yeah, so I just kind of like built a structure around the station. It's pretty simplistic. We'll have the details later. We're gonna have to add lighting because it's super dark down here. These people are just walking around in like pure darkness. But fortunately, these people are half vampires, so they can see in the dark. And this is gonna be the spot that we're gonna build the last roller coaster in the park. We have because our objective requires us to build just one more. Anyways, let's get to naming some park rides. Starting off, let's start off with the very, very top and work our way down. Starting off with the Ferris Wheel, which for some reason, there hasn't been a lot of comments, but there's been quite a few comments from people saying they don't like the Ferris Wheel up here. But personally, I have to disagree, because especially if you like come all the way down here and like get like a lower angle looking up at it, it just looks so cool as like a topping. It just like kind of fills in the space, and I think it looks so awesome. And then on top of that, like the idea of walking all the way to the top of this theme park and then having like a leisurely ride that lets you slowly go even higher than you currently are, it's just awesome to me. And yes, it does look out of place right now, but you have to give me a bit. I haven't finished building the building that's up here that encapsulates everything. It'll all tie together once it's done. If it ends up looking like trash in the very end, maybe we can replace it with something else, but give me a little bit more time to work my magic. Alright, so we have the Star Wheel. This thing is going to be named the Cyber Star. I like it because there's a star in the center, but also it's a great place to look at the stars. Whoa. The stars are like barely visible, and the moon is just like casting some awesome ambience. Also, a lot of people were like concerned as well. a lot of concern about these two rides at the very top. People thought that I built the same ride twice. This ride right here is called Ascendance, and then this ride up here is called the Hyper Jump. They're actually two separate rides. I'm not sure how different they are. They seem very, very similar in practice, but there might be something that separates them. But this Hyper Jump is going to be called the Stratosphere, because you're all up in the stratosphere and it's making you fearful, I guess. Alright, next ride we have is this launch coaster, which somebody pointed out to me from like a coaster building standpoint that this coaster has a lot of right turns and not enough left turns. And I wasn't even thinking about that, but they are totally right. There's like 2 left turns. I'm not really sure where I could do that though, but yeah, like now that I'm looking at it, almost every single turn is right, so it's gonna feel like you're just like turning right the whole entire time. But with the constraints we had up here, I'm not sure if I had many other options, unfortunately. So I might like try to play around with it later, but currently I'm not too worried about it. But I think we're gonna name this ride the Cloud Surfer, because, you know, just surfing around the clouds. This is like Minecraft. I'd imagine there would be just like some blocky clouds just floating through here, clipping through the roller coaster. Am I able to turn clouds on? Oh no, clouds are on. They're just not very low. They're up in the sky. I could add like, this would actually look awful, but there is like one scenery piece. All right, how is this? Do you think this will make people feel really appeased when they come in? This coaster now feels like it's in the trailer for the new Stranger Things season that's going to be coming out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and undo these, even though that does add a vibe for sure. Not sure if it's the correct vibe though. All right, next ride we have the hot pink 4D coaster. That is going to be called, right now it's www.sapphire.city.com. No, this thing is going to be called the Moon Cobra, because it's pretty much coming off of a space station that's like on a little intergalactic rock. And, you know, it wraps around things a little bit like a cobra, especially around this path right here. So, I like it. Also, cobras are dope. I approve. They're pretty awesome animals. This little ride inside here, I'm going to name this the Vortex, or just Vortex. I might could add the in front of it. It doesn't need a preposition. We're not about the preposition life today. Skirting around that. Skirty to skirt skirt. And do I have other rides to name? Oh yeah, we do have one more ride. It is the Grima launch coaster over here. Yeah, this bad boy. Is this thing open or is it in test mode? It's actually open. Oh, there it is. What's up, guys? Whoa, hi. Okay, so somebody said that we should name this the Sea Serpent. And I thought that was kind of cool, but it's green. So what if we actually named it the Tree Serpent? Ooh, you see what I did there? Good stuff, good stuff. All right, so I think every single ride in this park has a name now, but we can double check real fast. We have our shops and attractions. Does everything have a, oh no, the Wild Blue. The Wild Blue does not have a name yet. Soaring, flying. That's what it's gonna be. There's nothing you guys can do about it, except write a bunch of angry comments and make me rethink my life decisions. That's one of the things you can do. All right. Oh, the flashlight's on. Okay, so that's the first thing we're gonna do today. I'm gonna dive all the way back down to this stuff down here. Okay, so let me show you a little bit like more in depth what we built. We have like a little like line for the queue. It's all kind of bland. No like interesting decorations yet. It's just kind of like the bare bones of like what's necessary for people to like walk through. I just don't like building really generic, annoying structures. Okay, so I'm trying to pull this down a little bit more, so it's covering the end of this. Okay, that should be good. I don't want you to be able to see too much of this ride after you like blast out of here. I feel like I want you to be able to see a little bit, because I think it's cool that you can like see some other rides around you right here. I think it's just like really dope. I also need to do something up here. This looks really bad. We'll figure it out. It might be my off-camera project in between episodes, is decorate the butt of this building right here. Are people liking this ride now though? I think it's looking pretty good. I also added supports, so it really like feels like everything just kind of goes together really well. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. This just won't do. Get out of my roller coaster, you land. You dirty, filthy land. Okay. And then also we're gonna have to go down here and add like more adventure theming to these tunnels. I added like a little bit. Like I put some like walls and stuff, but not much. Peeking around the Christmas tree in my river rapids ride. Oh yeah, there's some of like the virtual rapids right there. And then we have another drop. Yeah. We still have a lot of work to do. We're still having to make progress. Okay, so one of the things that I was like holding off on all of the time I spent building was adding like any vegetation or any nature Well, I added rocks. Rocks are technically nature, I guess, but they're not alive, so they're like half nature. But I am really excited to see like what it looks like in here once I add trees. Oh no, it's not aligned to surface. I feel like trees should like by default not align to surface because it makes way more sense for them not to. Okay, so I'm trying to make this like an underground forest down here. That's kind of the vibe because I thought that'd be really cool. I've never really like seen that done. And so I'm gonna try to pull it off and see what I can accomplish with this. But yeah, trees are really gonna bring this together super fast. Like this whole entire thing is looking kind of empty. Once we get trees in here, it's just gonna be pulled together and it's gonna be looking snazzy. And you know how much I like snazzy things. You actually probably don't know how much I like snazzy things, but I do in fact like snazzy things quite a bit. Oh, we actually have a Christmas tree. How fitting. That's so pretty. I should actually do like a Christmas special for Planet Coaster this year for once. Okay, we probably can't put any of the big trees. No, we have to use some of the smaller trees, at least in this section. Ooh, a beech tree? No. This isn't going to be a beachy forest. And then my favorite thing of all time. Oh, I love it. Bushes. They're so great. Bushes in this game are just freaking bay. You can do so much with them, and you can just blend stuff in so dang well and just make things look like natural and naturey and all that fun stuff. Oh, I can freaking get off to just like placing bushes in Planet Coaster. I can do this for hours and just not get bored of the concepts of what it involves for whatever reason. I think we should add some like scratchy bushes down here as well. Scratchy bushes, just some dead stuff. Ooh, that sticks. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna get in the way. I'm so happy we're able to add this. It's all looking so good now. Like at first it was all looking like really ratchet and I was just like kind of afraid it wouldn't look good. But every single time I'm afraid, I always like kind of pull through. I'm always able to make it look good in the long run, which I would hope so. I've been playing this game for a long ass time, so I better be getting good at it by now. Rocks in here, just like little section looks a little bit awkward. I want this park to look good from like every single angle. I want you to be able to like once I'm done with this park, I want to put it onto the Steam Workshop and then have people be able to like look through it and be able to like appreciate all the small little details that I put in. That's kind of why I'm not showing myself build every single detail in the park, so people can go back and like look at them themselves and just like try to find stuff that they didn't like notice during the series, because I'm putting in a lot of like small details that that I'm like not showing you guys that you have to just appreciate yourselves, or not. I mean, if you even care. Not that you probably don't care that much, but I know some of you guys do. Some of you guys are very caring people. I mean, that's a really admirable trait to have, that you care so deeply about things and want to get involved with content you're watching. That reminds me of myself whenever I was like in high school. Like every like YouTuber I watched, I wanted to like help them to like some capacity. I was like, my favorite YouTuber whenever I was young was Nintendo Capri Sun, and I remember always like trying to make him like layouts and like outros and like graphics and stuff if I could. And he actually used quite a bit of them, which was always really cool. It made me feel special that like the creator that I liked a lot like gave a shit about me, which in turn I try to give a shit about as many of my viewers as possible, especially the ones that give me a lot of their time and like watch a lot of my content, because I just feel like it's the right thing to do if I can. And that's like why I'm also doing things like throwing conventions and stuff, so we can have more environments where gamers can hang out and just, you know, talk about, play video games and stuff, party, live our lives, be bad bitches, you know, what we do. Okay, I love this like just last dive on the mine train coaster, how it goes down into this tunnel. It's like a really good ending, because the whole entire thing, like none of it's too scary until like that very last drop, and you have like a little bit of a thrill, which is pretty cool. Man, these trees are really just pulling it together. It's just making it seem so much nicer than it did. I like these autumn colors too. These birch trees just look so good. Such a fan. I stand the birch trees. Okay, this is like some good place for some nature over here too. Should we use the ash tree? These things are kind of nice. Seems like a good place for just like one, maybe two. There's a couple different ash trees. Oh, that one's bigger. But the proportion is actually a little bit better for what we're trying to do. Cool, cool. Let's just keep on doing some of our bush stuff. This episode is brought to you by George W. Bush. And this park is also brought to you by Manscaped, which is actually the sponsor for this theme park, if you haven't heard. And they're officially our full-time sponsor, which is freaking awesome. Manscaped is an electric razor company that is honestly really dope. I've been using it for the past few months because they sent it to me, and I've been like sponsored by them for a while, and I've actually loved it. I'm like the type of person who likes to shave my body hair a decent amount, so I've been like shaving for like a long time, and I've never like had a great razor for it, but this is like definitely, like honestly been the best razor I've personally ever used. Like it doesn't ever cut me. It does like a really good job. It's just like really easy to clean and stuff. I've really liked it. So if you're interested in having like a really good electric razor delivered to you, but also supporting me in this series at the same time and like helping me out financially, because I honestly could really use it right now with some of the stuff I'm trying to do, then go to the link in the description, manscaped.com, and use the code TouCan20 to get 20% off your purchase, which is a decent amount. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised as to how efficient and useful this razor is, and you'll be able to make your body look clean and smooth if you would like to, because lots of people don't like being hairy. So if you're trying to be a smooth boy, this is the product for you. Hit it up. It's funny how I'm talking about trimming your bush as I'm placing bushes around. It's just so perfect. Best brand deal integration ever seen on the platform. How does he do it? Attacking toucans, setting new strides. Crazy how like quickly nature transforms everything in this game. I'm just loving how this area is just like all pulling together, because it looks so bad for so long, and I was like actually really afraid that I wasn't gonna make this area even like look decent, but it ended up like all coming together in the long run. And after we're done placing all of these plants and stuff, we're gonna have to go through and add a bunch of lighting and stuff. So it's kind of nice like putting all these plants down, because overall we haven't put too many plants or trees into this park, so we haven't had much space. So like putting it down here in the underground section is like one of the first times. We've done a little bit like on the main level of the park, but apart from that, not much, because like most of the park is like elevated up in the air, so nature isn't really like that necessary of a thing. One thing I do want to do though is on the last episode, I want to go around the boundaries of the tiny park and like change the terrain around the park in like the scenario editor mode, and make it seem like the park is like give a reason as to why this park has to be tiny. So like either surrounded by like really high mountains or cliffs, or like surrounded in like by really like deep canyons or something like that, just to like kind of make it be like, oh, so that's why it's a tiny park, instead of it just being like a random boundary, like they just had a small plot of land and weren't able to build outside of it without being arrested or something. Also, speaking of park expansions, I was at Knott's Berry Farm last week, and I was riding like the drop tower ride. I was at the top, I was like looking around, and I saw like a huge open plot of land near Knott's Berry, and it just was like so close, and it seemed like such a good location to possibly expand if Knott's Berry Farm ever wanted to expand. So I really hope they do that, because Knott's Berry Farm is like one of those theme parks where they've been like removing rides to add new rides, and I would rather them get to the point where I would rather them expand the park a bit more before they do that, because the park, it really isn't that big. They have some amazing rides, but it's not as big as it could be. And I feel like having like one more added section would be like perfect. Especially for those like long-time fans who have been coming to the park like their whole entire lives. Having a little bit of variety and a new like land would probably be amazing to be able to experience there. Let's add some ivy in here. Ivy always looks really freaking cool. I wish they had even more ivy options, because there's like 4, but they had like 10 ivy options that were all like in the same category. You can make your ivy look even more realistic. I think the next thing we want to do is lighting, because look at how dark it is. We're gonna start from pure darkness and then move on from here. Actually, we might need to use the flashlight for a few lights, so they're not placed in a bad location. Okay, I think I really want to go for like these mushroom lamps, because they're so cool. And I think I also want to use some of the crystals as well. I think we should kind of keep the crystal theme down here going as well. But these mushroom lamps are actually really cool and would add a perfect ambience to this like underground forest area. We won't only use these, but I think it'd be cool to like use a lot of these. Okay, only downside about these is they're not super bright. So we are gonna have to put some like other types of lamps and stuff on these buildings. Nothing like too much though. I don't want it to be too bright. I want this to be a very ambient area down here. A lot of atmosphere. Let's see. Ooh, this one's perfect actually. Love it. Just to keep it all evened up, I'm just gonna duplicate it. So a couple of the shortcut keys that I use, just to like reiterate, is if you ever have anything selected and you press Control X, you can advance duplicate it, which means it'll duplicate it and then give you this axis for you to move it on. And so it'll just easily allow you to keep things like all in line. You just press escape to get out. You can even select multiple objects if you use the multi-selection tool, and then press Control X and you can duplicate both lights. It's really cool. Great tool to use, and I definitely would encourage you to use it. Okay, let's put some lights inside here. I'm not gonna put too many lights because I want it to be like sort of moody, because being moody is the point. Okay, nice. I'm here for this. The front of this building is a little bit messy, I'm gonna admit, but I had a lot of stuff to like put inside of it, okay? I did my best with what I had to work with. Okay, let's see how all this is looking now. Where's all this light coming from? I like all the blue lights like from up here, like shining through down on this. I guess it kind of makes sense. All right, we gotta add more lights over here. It's still so dark. Ooh, actually, I really like these lantern towers. I'm gonna use a few of these real fast. These they give off just like a really pleasant diffusion of light. It just like looks really good. I really want this area to be a vibe. I don't want it to be like all bright and lit up. I want it to be like a kind of dark cavern that you're in. It's like building into the right there. Yeah, ooh, I can. Okay, this is dope. These like remind me of those lanterns in Breath of the Wild. Like you have to light with blue fire, and you just like have to just keep on looking for the next one. Okay, I actually love this. I'm living for it. Cool. Because like these just like blend in. They seem like such a good part of the environment because they're just so fancy. Okay, nice. I think that's looking pretty good. There's not too many of them, so it doesn't feel like it's overdone. I'll put one more right here. Gives like a good amount of lighting. Like now that we have like trees and stuff in here, this mine train coaster went from looking like really boring and generic to actually looking pretty bopping. I like how dark it is. It like adds on to the aesthetic, because like the ride itself isn't that scary, but if you like put it in the dark, like going around a bunch of stuff, then it definitely adds on to the mood. Let's add a few of these. I'm not sure what color I want to go for. I'm thinking like maybe a dark purple. I'll just kind of like place them in here, just pointing at the river rapids and stuff. Let's get a little bit more just color. Especially like off these rocks. The way the colors reflect off the rocks looks super nice, in my humble opinion. Okay, so we're not quite done, but I think it'd be cool just to ride it and just like see what it feels like on the ride so far. Just check out the lighting, check out the ambience, just make sure everything's just like squared away. Make sure we don't like go through any rocks or trees, just that kind of stuff. And just hear like the joyful screams of the people enjoying the ride that we spent a lot of time on. Cool start. Go through the station of the river rapids. Ooh, that was kind of cool. Okay, go into the little chain lift. Lighting up here is kind of interesting, but it works. First little section. Feels alright, probably light up that drop a little bit. Feels a little bit off. Nice. This is definitely like a family ride, but we don't have a lot of like family coasters in the park, so we needed something like this that wasn't too scary. And that part right there is scary. I like the idea of it just dropping into the darkness like that. Ooh, let's keep it like that. There's just like one part where it's just like terrifying. You don't even know where you are. You're just like, where did this come from? All right, cool, cool. I'm not entirely sure what I want to put up here yet. It's like an open space. There's probably like some scenery. Let me see like what Western scenery there is to work with. Honestly, that's probably the scenery pack I've worked with the least in this whole entire game is the Western scenery theme. And I don't know why that is. I've never built anything Western themed. I never had a desire, I guess. Ooh, we have a bison skull. This is kind of cool. Okay, I'll definitely use some of those. Cooking frame. We got some nice stuff to work with. We can probably put some like locomotive cars up here. Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be stuff to work with. Okay. Oh, we have another water tower. Is this one going to break? Okay. I actually like that a lot. It kind of fits perfectly. I'll do something right here to like make it sit on something a bit more. But let's change the color. I'm not liking that color. There we go. All black. I see a blue water tower and I want it painted black. Ooh. A local locomotive. Ooh, so loco. That is random. Ooh. I like this too. This is an oil pumper. But we could probably put it up here anyways, couldn't we? I don't see why not. It's my park. I can do what I want. Sure. Dang, talking for a long period of time makes like the back of my throat tickle. And then it's hard not to cough. I think that looks right up here, especially when it's like dark. It all like, kind of fits together a little bit more perfectly. And let's see, we got some like, ooh, these are nice. These are nice. Just make it sound like there's like a bunch of junk up here, some like random stuff. They just like kind of throw in some storage things up here. Some crates, some medium crates, small one. Put a couple crates over here. Okay, I'm just gonna like have this wagon kind of like falling off. It's like a platform right here. It's like kind of at a weird spot. Then I think there was like TNT, right? Can I put some like TNT inside this thing? Seems dangerous, but I live for the danger. The raw danger. They don't call me Tyler Danger for nothing. Okay, nobody calls me that. But they should. Alright, put a lamp on the oil pump just to add some good lighting. And like I said, I don't want to have too much lighting up here. I feel like it looks good being more on the dark side. Could probably use one more light though. Yeah. Put this random thing over here off to the side. And honestly, the space like filled up pretty nicely. It's not completely done yet, but you know, good starts as usual. Everything is just getting started. Takes a long time to get to your finished project in this game. You just got to do stuff one step at a time. Like that's like my #1 thing of advice for playing this game is just try to get stuff done one step at a time. You can never like do the full picture at once. You just kind of got to build one little thing at a time. And that's all you can do. Okay. These are kind of cool lights. Let's try these out real fast. Doesn't like illuminate much, but it does add like. But it adds on to the existence of this wall. Okay, this is the thing I needed to fix real fast because people are gonna get their heads scraped off right here. Okay, let's like trim this roof off. Kind of make it just look a little bit more cleaned up. Nice. Okay. Maybe even just put some more dynamite. Why not? I think the more dynamite, the better. It makes people feel more secure. Being in a big tunnel with a bunch of theme park rides above them with bunch of dynamite really nearby. I don't know about you, but that made me feel good. Or we could just put a lantern here. Let's do that. Lantern is so much more wholesome. Oh, look at how wholesome that is. Cool. Any other like lighting we want to put back here? Or is it bright enough? I don't want to make it too bright. You know? Feel that vibe? I think we're almost like good back here. Maybe like one more lamp like sitting up here. Yeah, one lamp. One lamp. Just one lamp. Not two. Not three. Just one. Alright, we also have to decorate the inside of this room. I hate decorating the insides of stations. Like, it's one of my least favorite things to decorate in Planet Coaster. I don't know why. It just is. Something that would be kind of cool right here, honestly. Oh, wait. Gotta have the tunnel all the way. It has to be all the way. Okay, now we're good. Is it all the right colors? That's my main question. Yes, it is. Good, good. Okay, paths. So this is like something I like rarely ever use, but I should use it more. It's natural paths. If we go through and turn off all of the settings, which we have, I can place this. I'm gonna make it thin, actually. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have like a random, just like little snaking, leisurely path that just like kind of goes through the nature back here. And there's not gonna be anything back here except for just some like benches. But I'm just gonna put like a bunch of trees and stuff and a little path that like goes in between them, just for the heck of it. There's not really any space for rides over here. And I guess I could put some food stands. Honestly, should I put some food stands instead? This might be the place to put the food. Well, I can put, I'll put some like food over here. I really like the idea. I like the idea of having this. Ooh, and this like bench is so cool too. This rustic wooden bench. Such a vibe. Cool. Couple trash cans will be set. And now let's naturize things. Back to you, trees. Oh, look, people are already loving the benches. See, I knew this was the right idea. People are like fighting over the same bench. Ma'am, there's another bench right down here. If you could please take turns, that would be much appreciated. We don't want any fights happening right here in our theme park. Okay, I need to use some like bushy trees. Can we fit an oak tree? An oak tree would probably be like the best. Well, this is not clipping through, which it's barely. But I do want to have this oak tree because it's just, it's nice. Okay, raising up the roof a little bit so you can see the trees. It's coming together, but we need to have a lot of bushes over here. It's not going to look good unless we got bushes. That's how you really just like lush it up a little bit. So let's get some forest bushes. Wait, what's the bigger bush? Ooh, I like this real big bush. But you will not have a big bush if you go to manscaped.com and use my code 2can20. Try it today. I love how they're just like falling down right here. Okay, I should probably fix this. That looks so bad. Okay, that looks a lot better. That should cause less problems. And then maybe I could even have the coaster like kind of go underneath this. I'm probably just going to put like a regular like family just like steel coaster. And we're going to build that next episode. The last coaster of the tiny park. But we got to hold off because there's still a lot of decorating to do. And so we got to like leave something as far as coaster building goes to look forward to. So we got to build, as far as like things we have left to build, I got to do a station for this roller coaster and like something back here for that because we haven't done much there. We got to finish decorating the River Rapids ride. And then at the very top, we just got to finish like working on the space station, which I've been working on the lower section for like a long time now. So I think for the rest of this episode, I'm going to come back up to the top and start building the space station around the rest of the stuff we built because there's a lot of just nakedness up here. People still liking the 4D coaster? Oh yeah, they are going to town. All right, sounds good. Let's get to work. All right, so we're back at the top. I love this coaster right here. And I just did some like really cool spiral stuff with some of these scenery pieces, and I think it looks really cool. Like this whole entire ride, I love the aesthetic. It's just kind of like tucked in here, has some cool colors, and it being called the Vortex, it just looks like some sort of like little black hole. It's just like spiraling inside the space station. Now we got to continue building this thing up right now because this whole entire thing looks really naked and it looks really, really bad. Like this whole entire park almost like doesn't look good just because this still sort of sticks out like a sore thumb and it's just like catches your eye and it really distracts you. So let's just start by creating like an outer shell for this thing. Okay, so here is the biggest trick in the Planet Coaster book. Pay attention to this one because this is going to help you. So see, here's an example of a situation where like I want to have a wall, but this wall isn't like in the exact place that I'd want it to be. And this is honestly something I didn't really learn about until recently, and it's like changed my life. But it's part of a building and I can't move it without moving the whole entire building. Unless you just click this button right here, split section from building, do that, click X to put it into advanced move, and then we can drag this individual wall piece separate from the building we were building earlier, and we're able to put it into the perfect place. It's not like completely perfect, but now it like lines up with everything well, and we'll just use like other pieces to cover up the little blemishes and make it look perfect. And that's how you make buildings that are super duper detailed. This game is pretty much like Minecraft in the sense of you can literally do anything. Your only limitation is your mind. So we got a pretty good shell for this building. It's like really bland, but I finished the next floor. Now before I go up and build the next floor above that, we got to go through and put in the decorations for this floor, because everything is like really just generic looking right now. And I try to like make it look as good as possible with just regular walls, but then we go through with like all of the other like little decorations that the sci-fi scenery has to offer, and that's how we just really beef it up and look nice. So I'm gonna decorate the interior next, and then after I do that, we'll do the floor above. Alright, we gotta make sure that this lunch tunnel is really cool. Did I call it a lunch tunnel? It's actually a dinner tunnel. No, this launch tunnel needs to be really cool, so I need to have some like doors that open up. We'll set that onto a sugar at some point, because right now it's like freaking on caffeine. And then this like tunnel is actually really tight. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Okay, this door. Can you calm down? Okay, is there enough space? Okay, there's like barely enough space on this wall over here. So we can't put too much on this side, unfortunately, but it's okay. Oh, I love this coaster. All right, this door is like driving me crazy though. Make trigger sequence. Where's the first trigger gonna be at? Can it be, how soon can it be? Can we put it back? Alright, we'll see how this works. And connect it to this big door that's on caffeine that will not stop opening and closing. Okay, so I put in like an hour of work into the space station, and it's starting to come along. It's looking pretty cool. We still have a lot of work to do. It's like one of those things where there's so many details where I can only get so much done at a time. But it's starting to look pretty clean, and I just can't wait to see what this thing is going to look like when it's finished. I just love how many things are just like weaving around everywhere in this thing. And it's just so satisfying that everything just like fits together, and there's like paths and food and tons of rides. It's so cool. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, because it definitely helps me out. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.